Welcome, Metas, to the secret securement bunker. Buried deep within my base lies this cozy little corner where I can keep some prime loot and, of course, secure my prism deviations. If I switch to build mode and fly out, okay, we've got some very big displays of my deviations because I'm stood next to the securement unit. But from the outside, this is all you see. Looks like foundations up high above, but actually, at the core, the base footprint is just two triangles. And as we go up, we get our levels, we get some normal deviations up here, and then we get into here, and oh, I will be perfectly honest, so far, the core of this has been mostly untested. There was a minor incident where I set this base up on a rock. After securing, it made some people on day one a little bit angry, so they decided to keep firing at it for about an hour and a half to keep it locked in combat. Unfortunately for them, they kept it locked in combat long enough for Sanctuary to kick in, so when they did eventually glide across into the base, they couldn't actually do anything other than alert me to the fact that they were in my base, because I went off to go and get more materials, and then as soon as they destroyed a securement container, that alerted me to exactly where they were in the base, so I teleported back and annihilated them. So I've jumped over to Eternaland to show you the build from scratch. I wouldn't recommend building in Eternaland first because there's different physics in Eternaland to in the live game, so you can do certain build things that you can't do on a server. So what I'm going to do is start with the triangle foundation, ×2 to make our initial diamond. Then what we'll do is take half wall, place it all the way around, ignoring the annoying snapping. Then what we can do is place one, then grab another triangle foundation, or since the snapping update, you've been able to do this. If you place a ceiling on top of a wall that's within range of placing a foundation, so height-wise, you can snap to it. And you can also alt and scroll and keep the snapping. So we don't want it on the same level. We want it one notch up. Now, this can happen sometimes where it goes and overshoots. We just want one notch. So I've turned snapping off, alt and scroll, one notch above. Turn snapping back on and just keep going around, avoiding that. Making sure it's always snapping to the foundation that you're building around. And there you can see we've got that little gap there. Move this floor up, copy it, put it in. And there we go. Stands out a bit, doesn't it? So what we're going to do is grab the free print dark cement flooring. There's also light cement flooring that I haven't tested, so we'll have a look at that at the same time. And yep, that works just as well. So these are paid, that's free. No, so it is just the dark cement or light cement flooring where you can essentially hide your bunker. Obviously, if you look at it flat, it stands out. If you're in build mode, you can see it. But the main thing about this trick is don't necessarily build it exactly as I've shown you in the dead center. You can put this anywhere that you are putting a diamond. As long as you build the foundations around it, it keeps it hidden. So if you're backed up into a corner, I would put it right at the back of the base. So then if a raider's got to come through the front, they've got to get either foundation wipe from the front or raid through the front altogether. Dead center is just my example for you. It's worked so far, but obviously once this video goes up, people might start to notice and start looking for these things. So to hide that further, we're going to continue building the base. I'm not going to build the entire structure because at its very core, this is simply a base built of honeycomb. Because you don't need to worry about something like upkeep, like if you were playing Rust, you can just go ham and build a base entirely out of honeycomb. Now, there are other tricks that you can do as well. So placing doorways all the way around will obviously give more to raid and they might not figure out that they are right on top. Because the deviation beacon, when you're securing a prismatic deviation, comes from the center of the base, it doesn't come from the securing unit. That's something else to your advantage as well, especially if you're not placing it in the center. Now, if we're in the live game and you had a stack of walls like that, you wouldn't be able to do this. But because we're in Eternal Land, you can. As I was saying about those things that can catch you out, place walls like that. Then we need a ceiling. So now that that is being supported by the ceiling and these two walls, the stability is carrying across. You will then be able to take this away. And this is how I enter my base, is by taking that away, jumping up. And you can see we're still in the move mode. So if I press escape, that'll just reset the move and we're in and secure. No one can bug into any doors, which is a thing, and they're just presented with solid walls. Now, on the topic of doors, you might think that your only options are the wood door at 800 durability and the painted door at 1400. However, you can get the automatic solid wood door with 2550 durability just by unlocking the electrical kit in the memetics menu in Phase 1. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend powering it because you might have some mishaps with doors opening, and also the reliability of doors at the minute isn't that great. What this does do, though, is automatically close the door after a certain period of time. So if you leave it open by mistake, it'll close again. So from here, build out your honeycomb, build up, build your defenses, put in a jump up, and just use the same technique where you press F, up you pop, press escape, and the floor snaps back to where it was. In terms of placing your bunker around the place, what I would recommend is doing something like this, and wherever you've placed your core, whatever triangle you're using as your entry point, put a combination of lights that only you know which combination is the right one. So if you have the entire ground floor laid out with lights, where there could conceivably be a bunker, then you'll be cooking on gas. If you found this guide useful, please leave a like and a comment down below. If you're a raider that's encountered one of these hidden loot rooms, my apologies. For more oncehuman news, tips, tricks and guides, please be sure to subscribe. And until the next one, my fellow mayflies and Rosetta, beware the fridges.